Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. I know it's been a few days. I've been away. I'm sure you've all noticed. But we are back now, and there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. So first of all, if you guys remember, we spoke about this in the last video, which was that Congress was trying to get the Air Force to create a new military branch known as the Space Corps. And so we kind of dove into that, and we're wondering, well, why are they trying to protect us from space? We know that they have had technology up there for years that they've been utilizing to protect our satellites and to potentially take out enemy satellites. So why now? And over the past couple of days, the House Armed Services Committee has voted to create the U.S. Space Corps, which would become the new branch of the armed forces and incorporate the current space missions of the U.S. Air Force. And as one Democratic senator from Tennessee, Jim Cooper, put it, quote, that the new Space Corps was very important to U.S. defense strategies, and that we could wake up one morning and be blinded and deafened by adversary powers because many of our most precious assets are up in space. So again, sort of the public angle to this is that they want to protect the U.S. and our assets in space, that being some classified satellites, and who knows what they have up there. They wouldn't be telling us about it, obviously. But others believe that there is a more sinister reason for this. I remember in the comments of my last video, a lot of people thought that NASA and the government were gearing up for Project Bluebeam, or AKA the fake alien invasion, which would allow them to instill martial law and basically be able to take over the world and instill the New World Order. And as a perfect segue into what I want to talk about next, which we'll get to in a second, first I want to tell you guys, for those of you who don't know, what Project Bluebeam is said to be. So in a nutshell, Project Bluebeam is a theory that claims that NASA is attempting to implement a New Age religion of sorts, with the Antichrist as its head and start a New World Order via a technologically simulated second coming of Christ, basically. Others believe that this will be an alien invasion, and they will do this utilizing some extremely high-tech visual and holographic technology, which will allow them to project anything they want, really, into our skies, using a multitude of systems down here on Earth and satellites up in space. And if you've been watching the web over the past couple of years, you'll find a lot of videos out there that display this ever-growing holographic technology. But we've never had a lot of hard evidence. You take a lot of the smaller pieces of evidence and you put them together, and it does kind of lean towards, well, they may be working on something here. And sort of a big smoking gun this week, which has led many to believe that NASA is testing this technology, came after NASA lit up the sky with these beautiful blue and green colored orbs that, oddly enough, kind of look like an invasion of UFOs, wouldn't you guys say? But basically what you're seeing here is colored exhaust that lit up the clouds over North Carolina and New York this past Thursday morning, with the agency calling it a, quote, early Independence Day fireworks display. The rocket launched from Wallops Flight Facility on Virginia's eastern shore and reached an altitude of around 118 miles. The flight lasted about 8 minutes, and about 4 to 5 minutes in, it deployed 10 canisters about the size of soft drink cans, each containing a colored vapor that forms artificial luminescent clouds. And of course, the Wallops facility, as well as police, 911 centers, received around 2,000 reports and photographs captured by stunned onlookers of the colorful clouds up and down the mid-Atlantic coast, including Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. And so officially, these vapor tracers, as they're called, will allow scientists on the ground to view the movement of the particles in the ionosphere, a part of the Earth's atmosphere that stretches to the edge of space, to learn more about the movement of the air currents at that altitude. So, pretty harmless, right? Well, not according to a lot of people who have seen this and said, you know what, this looked like an alien invasion, and it would appear that they're testing these different technologies that could potentially be used in order to get people frightened, flood the 911 centers with calls about these strange lights moving through the sky, And that's exactly what they wanted to do. You know, they did their little test, they got the reaction that they wanted to see if they could get, and they have the perfect cover story to implement such a test. So the big question is this a beta test of Project Bluebeam? And do you guys believe that a lot of the UFO sightings we see are not from off-planet, but are in fact from our own government and nothing but holographic simulations in order to condition us for the big alien invasion? And you know, one of my favorite quotes, and was said by Mr. Werner von Braun, who is the famous Nazi scientist, who in 1974 spoke about the government's plan to implement a series of, quote, global threats that would necessitate their developing of more and more advanced lethal technology in order to protect us from these manufactured threats, with the eventual goal being the weaponization of space to ensure that any disobedient or unruly nation anywhere on the planet could be dealt with on a computer screen button. He said that the first of these global threats would be the Russians and their nuclear bombs. The next global threat, which by the way, keep in mind, this was in 1974, he said was terrorism, and the terrorism on such a level that no corner of the earth would be safe. The third on this global threat list, rogue nations and third world countries. And with what we're seeing with the tensions between us and North Korea today, well, I don't think I need to say much more now, do I? The fourth on this list, working up to the ultimate goal of weapons in space, asteroids, which of course we can't be afraid of or know about unless we knew they existed, hence the reason why NASA has made it very public every time they discover another near-Earth object that could potentially hit us one day. And so you say, okay, nothing too sinister about that. But now on to the last of von Braun's global threats, the extraterrestrial threat from space. And again, he said the only way for us to know about such a threat is to condition us with an endless array of alien invasion films, TV shows, documentaries, and yes, UFO sightings and abductions. And if you remember, this is kind of what Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about in our interview we did, where he claimed that virtually all or most of the documented alien abduction cases were not aliens at all, but in fact the US military flying around in back-engineered alien technology and abducting people. Now, I'm not sure about this. I guess you could say maybe some of these abductions could have been the US military, but certainly not all of them, and I think many of the abductees would be inclined to disagree with Dr. Greer on that point. And you would also have to suspend belief and convince yourself that all major UFO sightings have come from the government. And again, that is something I find hard to believe. We've had many other strange things happening off of our planet, in space, around other planets, other moons, things that would really have nothing to do with this. So, yeah, that is where we are. It's kind of scary how dead on von Braun was with these 1974 predictions, which is why it makes this whole thing much more serious, disconcerting, and mysterious. So, with that, let me know what you guys think. Strange times. And before we go today, I would like to show you guys some fan mail that I was recently sent. What you're seeing here is a package that I received from a fan in Sweden. So kudos to all my fans over in Sweden across the pond. And this was at the end of this neatly rolled package. A custom-made Secureteam medallion, or a keychain, or a piece to a necklace, whatever I want to use it for. Awesome. I mean, I was so shocked to see this. This guy hand-made this thing from a piece of metal, pounded it out, flattened it. There's even these little intricate designs in the black part. And man, this is one of the coolest gifts and pieces of fan mail I have ever received. So I want to give a big special thanks to Tobias from Sweden. Awesome work. And he even drew this cool little drawing on the package of this alien flying saucer heading to Earth. So, awesome imagination, great metalwork, And yeah, what else more can I say? I just want to thank all of you guys for being awesome friends and people, and I hope you'll stick around with me for many years to come. So thank you for stopping by. Be sure to share and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you all back in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.